So over here we have a case study, a case question. So we got a scenario over here. Okay. If you come across the exam with this kind of question, if lah, right? Then it will be very simple lah, right? So what happened is a manufacturing company, uses an automated payroll system integrated with their accounting information system. So here's automated lah. Automated means automatic lah, right? Means automatically they will generate the payroll. Then the audit reviews several instances of duplicate salary payment. Oh, this is fun lah, right? Imagine you got duplicate salary. I will be jumping like a monkey, you know. Duplicate salary, right? You'll be jumping like monkey, you know what I mean? It means if you only entitled this month, let's say 2,000 ringgit, right? You got another 2,000 ringgit. Jumping like monkey, lompat macam monyet. Tak. I remember last time I stayed in the hostel, some people shouting out from the RST, you know. No, shouting out. Then I shout to them, oi monyet. Those people are funny guy, right? Anyway, an authorized adjustment. So you can see that there's some issue with the system already, right? So over here, what audit tools or technique would you recommend for identifying and addressing these issues? Answer got some problem lah. Huh? Answer problem. Answer got problem. Question is okay. You can still find some way to check whether to identify the issue, right? So what audit tools or technique would you recommend for identifying and addressing these issues? So what you can suggest is data extractions, right? You can extract the data from the system and then check whether there's a duplicate payment or not. Okay, over here, if you go up over here, just now, just in case you miss, right? There's several tools over here. Would you recommend for identifying and addressing these issues? How can input, process, and output control in the payroll system be improved? So let me see over here. So how do we improve this one? System automatically generate the payroll, right? And then, for instance, there is some duplicate salary. So how are you going to improve, or how are you going to improve the system? So what we have learned over here. So first thing over here, I point out to this one is very clear lah, because it's inside on top already. So unauthorized adjustment, right? So what you want to do is Yeah? Segregation of duty. Password, encryption of the password. Unauthorized adjustment to employee bonus. So, how you can improve this one? Only certain people can adjust, right? Because it's unauthorized adjustment. First, you can put the control on the input, right? Input control. And second, you can do the process control also, right? Which is, you can do what? Transaction logging, right? So that you can check who actually do the adjustment.
So technically, we have to give one for each type of control, the most appropriate control we choose.
Okay, this is a good question, right? In the final exam, come across this kind of question. If they tell you check the threads and then recommend the control, right? So how many control you should give, or how many threads you should identify? Go back to the marks. How much marks is awarded? That's number one. Okay, number one, that's good. I like this question. Number one, look at the marks. And then number two is the question, alright? The question will specify. Question will specify 1 or 2. And then the question will specify for you to recommend the internal control for 2 of the control, 2 of the threads that you identify. Follow the questions. Of course, I cannot tell you what kind of question will come out, right? But yeah, I can tell you. Later you will see me beside. Later I'll beside the mosque asking for money because cannot mortgage already. Right? It's a severe punishment, if you do that. Exposing the question to the student. It's a severe punishment. It's a no joke. But I can tell you something like this. I can give you all the different types of questions. It's okay. Alright? Then out of all these different type of scenario, different type of questions, maybe it has the same kind of questions. Alright? Then you can also do in the process you can also do the reconciliation, right? Control. Yes, you need to explain. So suggest steps the company can take to prevent similar issues in the future. This one is like bonus questions, right? Bonus questions, but make sure it's logic, lah. So one of the thing is training, lah, right? You want to train the HR department people to make sure that they process the salary correctly. Alright, this might be due to error. Okay. Then you can say conduct periodic audit on the payroll. So instead of until you found out the problem, you periodically, it means from time to time, alright, you go and check whether there's any issues or not with the system. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one is a retailer. A retailer's cloud-based accounting system was recently audited. Okay, the auditor found that many employees had access privilege, leading to unauthorized invoice approval. Oh, this is so clear already, right? If you cannot answer this question in the exam, I think you really need to come and meet me again in the next sitting, right? This one is really clear. If in the exam come out this one, okay, okay, right? Not okay. Who say not okay? Okay, right? Okay. This one is very clear already, right? So, what internal controls should be implemented to address the issue of excessive access privilege? Okay, what? What happened over here? You understand what happened now? Yeah. Yeah? You don't get it? You don't get which one? The questions or the case? The questions. The questions is the case okay. Case not okay. You don't understand the case. Okay. The case over here tells you that cloud-based accounting system is just another type of system, right? Not another type, it's a cloud-based system. You remember or not? The cloud accounting system that we learned, the emerging technology. Don't worry, next week when the auto count comes, they'll show you what is a cloud ERP system look like. Alright. It is like you log into your Google Drive, then you can store the storage in the Google Drive. It's the same logic applies to the accounting system. It means that you don't need to install the system. Go to the browser, type the URL link, then you can use the accounting system already. Okay? So, what's the problem over here? Many employee, alright? This one, excessive access privilege. Okay, this one you understand? It means they have, what is this access? It can access to anything, alright? It means like, let's say Rajin, right? You are in this company. You can access to everything. The customer data, the human resource, all the financial things, right? Then what happens is, over here it leads to this one. The problem is unauthorized invoice approvals. Remember this one? Supplier invoice process. When you do the supplier invoice, right? You're going to process the supplier invoice, right? When you receive the supplier invoice, then you say that, okay, this is valid supplier invoice. These are one of the examples. Unauthorized invoice approval, it means that you are approving the invoices you receive from the supplier unauthorizedly. So it means that there's no one, the person that's supposed to authorize, not that person didn't authorize, right? Suddenly someone authorized it. You understand? It means that, what happened? What is the problem over here is that the invoice that you receive might not be the company's invoice, right? It might not even exist. But if you approve this invoice, it means what happened? You need to pay this invoice, right?
Fake transactions.
Yes, there's a fake transactions. Right? You need to pay this invoice and then the company will lose. These are the things that you need to think, alright? So the question comes to the first question over here, alright? Asking you, how do you address how do I address this excessive access privilege? So this one is not inside the slides, alright? This is the answer of the slides. So what you can do over here is they call the role-based access control, yes. Alright, it's a role-based access control. It means, you know what? You know what is this thing? The role-based access control? It means, yes, assign privilege to the designations, right? So if it's a top management, this person can access to the reports, can access to the authorizations, approval. But if this person is only the account technician that is in the sales department, this person can only access to the sales department, all the transactions. So this is what they call role-based access control. Alright? Yeah, I think you must go through all the questions. It means that you create the access control based on the role the person is doing. The role, let's say you're a manager or you are just a technician, accounts technician. If you're only accounts technician, maybe you can only do the data entry. Then you cannot do the approvals. Yes. Yes, they cannot access. You lock them out from those access. Alright? It means they cannot. Basically, in SQL you can do that. Too bad I didn't show you. You can create the username and password, and then you only select. They can only look at the sales. Then when they access to the system, they open up the SQL. They can only look at the sales, all the tab for the sales. They cannot look at the purchase, and they cannot look at other things. So these are what they call the role-based control access. Alright. So depending on what their role is, they are being restricted accordingly. Okay, then how would you test the effectiveness of this control during the next audit? How are you going to test this? So, you're going to make some example, right? You're going to make some example. You say the manager, the technician or the accounts technician, during the next audit, you will use this ID and try to approve try to authorize the invoice. So the system should not allow. Alright, this will happen. Very simple. Yeah? Yeah, you have to give scenario. You have to give example to explain how, right? How? So the process, right? You're going to give some example. No, you will try some dummy transaction. You will try to access the system using the account technician role, if this person can approve the invoices or not. Yeah, you can make this kind of scenario to discuss. Okay, finally is discuss the risk of inadequate access control in a cloud-based environment. This one actually linked to the chapter on the imaging technology. Alright, it linked to the chapter on imaging technology lah. And also with the fraud. Yes. So discuss the risk of inadequate access control cloud-based environment. Yes. Second question you don't understand. Is how. How you don't understand? Okay, first over here we suggest this one, right? Role-based access control. Is that okay? So we say, okay, manager can approve. All right, manager can approve, right? Then technician cannot approve. Okay, this one like this. Yeah, these are the example lah. All right, manager can approve, the technician cannot approve. Okay, then how you going to test this effectiveness? You're going to do a we call simulation. All right, you're going to simulate whether you use the technician really cannot approve or not. You are doing a simulation. Test. Yeah. And then for this one, discuss the risk of inadequate access control in cloud-based environment. Because it's a cloud-based environment, right? Means you can access anywhere, anytime. So you need to regularly. The risk is discuss the risk of inadequate access control, right? In the cloud-based environment, it can be exposed to someone to hack the password, right? It can be, data breach, all right? It can cause a lot of issue. Of course, you got the list, all right? The list of but problem is, I think time is already up. Your friend need to go for Koke, right? Still have a Koke. Last week, still got 1 more week. I don't know. Okay, I think you need to go for Koke already. I will continue next week for the revision. So see you all next week. That's it? Thank you. Thank you. All right, bye. Bye. Okay, thank you.